So this is in case you want to create your assets in Illustrator. You need to export them out so you can pop them in Toon Boom. So say you've drawn your fella, your character. You've got nice little circle joins at the pivot points. Fabulous. And now you just need to split it up. So you need to break it up into all the individual layers and groups. So it's not about jumping in here and grouping them. That's not enough. Then we need to have all the layers out here. So because I'm organized, I've already grouped a whole bunch of things. So I can click on these legs, hands, they're already together. If you haven't, if they're all ungrouped, then you'll want to be grabbing everything with a marquee select to make sure you get all the bits you need. So then what we're going to do, grab all your bits and cut. So Control X, make a new layer. And if you hit Control Shift V rather than just Control V, Control Shift V will paste it back exactly in the same place. So you can see I've got a new layer there, the thing's in the right spot. And a habit I get into is when you've copied and pasted, turn the layer off so you know what you're up to. Move on to the next one, new layer, turn it off. Don't worry about the order just yet, you can do that once you've got them all out. Now, the way that I'm cutting them up is based on what I want to move independently. So I could have the arms and hands on one thing, but I want them to be able to rotate slightly offset so I can have a little bit more of a dynamic movement. I'll come back to that because it's got things in it. Now I'm going to split up all the details of the face as well. This allows us to do little head turns. So if those ears are separate, that means I can have one ear. This ear goes back, for example. This ear comes out. That means he's looking. We've got our nose. With that, he's looking over to the right. If we go the other way, then he's looking to the left. So if you have those elements split up, then you've got more options. It's a bit more work, but generally you want as many options as possible. Pupils, however, unless we're doing like googly eyes, they always move together, so you can put them on one layer together. But let's not make him look at us because that's creepy. When you're doing the eyes, when we bring it into Toon Boom, you may have different instances, so you can get blinks happening. But that's something you can do later, or you can set it up in here ready to go. It's up to you depending on how you want to do the style. What I would recommend though is that everybody creates all of their assets directly in Toon Boom. You don't have to keep jumping in and out, have inconsistencies, worry about missing files, all that kind of stuff. But if you're absolutely adamant that all you want to do is Illustrator, this is how you do it. And delete that shadow because that's going to complicate life for us. And beard. Mouth. And the chest. Also going to chop up this lapel because he's got an arm that I want to stick underneath the lapel. I'm going to have that as a separate layer there. You will have different things about your character that you want to split up that aren't default, so keep that in mind. There isn't just one way to do anything when it comes to animation. Cool. All still there, it's just split up. Now, a couple of things in the wrong order. His face is gone. It's going to chuck that behind the beard. So you want to get your layer structure looking right. All of the head should be above everything else. And we'll take the hat and the ears with it as well. Now, you're going to be tweaking this in Toon Boom, so don't stress too much about the layer order. But the main thing is logical. That's what we want. That one needs to be on top because that's the front leg. I'm going to put those with the butt just so I don't get myself confused. Right, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to rename everything. You have to rename everything. And it should be behind the other sleeve. Just there. Alright. So this is the right hand tails. Right leg. Now you may have your assets split up into more parts. You may have upper and lower arm. Same with the legs. It's up to you. The more parts, the more options. But just for the sake of showing you guys how to do it, I thought I'd keep it quick and clean. Just left hand. Doesn't matter whether you go his left or your left, as long as you're consistent so you don't get yourself confused. Which I have done a minute at a time. And the mouths, you'll have a bunch of mouths possibly if you're getting some characterization in there or some lip sync in particular. You can make a bunch of mouths, have them all in Toon Boom on their own same layer. So you can make the assets here and do that, or you can make them in Toon Boom as well, because it's just a line for this guy, so you can do either. So I'm just double clicking to rename everything, so I apologize about my cursor, it's all over the place. Right, maybe? And it's a resolution thing, and I've been grumbling at the screen all day, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Eyes and oops. Cool. Now I'm gonna chuck these eyes underneath all of that, just because if I want to overlap anything, mayhem it's yours. Cool. That's it. That'll work. This. There we go. Cool. So that's all cool. All my bits are there. Everything's labeled. Great. Now, if you were going into After Effects from here, that's it. You would import the Illustrator file. Good to go. Now, Toon Boom hasn't advanced that far yet. It's still pretty new, so you've got to bear with it for the amount of progress they've made in the last few years. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it hasn't got importing Illustrator files yet. So what you need to do is you need to export it all out, every single little asset, into a PNG, and then you can import that into Toon Boom. So what you'll do is you'll grab everything on each layer, because at the moment they're still individual bits. So you grab everything and Control G to group it. So you've got just a group. Do that for every layer, so it's all together. There is no inbuilt script, so you can export layers to files. There is another quick cheat as long as everything is nice and organized in groups. So this little circle guy on the right, that is selecting everything on that layer. Alright, so you've got leg, they're all one bit now. So now, if I select everything, I've got this asset export window. If it's not open for you, it's usually stuck with the layers somewhere, or you can go to window and asset export. That's the guy you want. Now with everything selected, I'm just going to drag it straight in. 29 beautiful assets. And unfortunately, because this is a new feature, it still hasn't figured that out either. So we can copy paste those titles, because you may think it doesn't matter. It is going to matter when you get to animation, because it's going to drive you bonkers if you don't have a good naming convention. So I'm just going to copy paste all of these in. Nose. How fun is animation, guys? And if you're doing the mouths, you wouldn't call it just mouth. You'd have mouth 1, mouth 2, A shape, O shape, that kind of thing. So it does get more tedious with naming. The more layers you have, the more details you've got. With every full-scale animation, you will have a huge collection of rigs for all different manner of things. Even not even just large scale. If you're working on explainer videos, you'll have heaps of different rigs for all sorts of different things, because it is quicker to redraw the character in the right basic pose and just rig a couple of bits than it is to have one massive rig that does everything, because no massive rig that does everything ever works the first time. So it's tedious, but it's worth it in the long run, and yeah, you get faster. Cool. By default, we've got PNG set. Scale is to the original size, which is what we want. We don't need anything bigger or smaller. Oops. And then we're just going to select all of them again. Why can't I? Oh my god. Thank you. How many have we got? Does it tell me? No, but they're all blue. So that's everything. And I'm going to go down to the bottom right and hit export. It's going to ask me where I want to save it. I'm going to save there. Boom, done. Start quick and easy. No, freaking. What? Cool. There everything is. Now you can see this. And I tried it before. Ruined the illusion. So there's all my pieces, right? This doesn't seem right there. Delete them. Asset. Asset. Oh, well. That must be right. So there's all my bits. Ready to go. And then I can bring them into Toon Boom. If you're making your assets in Illustrator, you need to export them all out to PNGs, import them into Toon Boom, all before next class. I'm also going to make one more instance of this guy. That is reference. And that's going to be that. So now I've got in there, just so I can then add him to my asset list and export him as well, because I'm going to want to have something that I can line up all my pieces with, because they're not going to come in automatically in alignment. So I'm going to call this Illustrator import 1920 by 1080. We'll do 24 frames, just so it's one frame easier for us all. We'll go create scene. Don't miss the button. Alright, that's opened in the wrong window, and I don't know how to fix it. Fixed it. Alright. I'm gonna ignore that for now. Give it a U just for a jiffy. You don't need to see any of that scary stuff yet. Right, and then I'm going to import all of my bits. So I'm going to File, Import Images. I'm going to browse and navigate to them. So I want all the bits including my reference. And these are not automatically going to be in order, but I can use my Illustrator file as a guide. I've already done it once. So we're selecting all of them, and we're going to go Create Layer, Create layers based on file name, Create single layer named beard. No, this one. Create layers based on file names. You've got these options as well, so keep as original bitmap, import as Toon Boom bitmap, or convert to vector. Vector does weird shit, so I wouldn't do that. Keep as original means that you don't have the right options here, so I've been doing this guy, import as Toon Boom bitmap. You're not going to lose anything, it's all going to be banging. So do that, import as Toon Boom bitmap, make sure it is the actual size, don't make it weird and try and fit anything, and alpha is straight, it's not pre-multiplied or anything strange. Hit OK, and then there's all your bits, all of your layers stood in. So you can see they're all little drawing layers. No, that's not helpful. Who put that control there? That's dumb. Alright, so there's all of your pieces, so you can then move around and put in place. So I'm going to use this guy as my reference, so I'll lock him, and I can grab my pubes, line them up, grab my schnoz. Might just go things on top, work it down, that'll be easier. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. When I get through something, I'm just going to move it out of the way so it's not all up in my grip. Just but I can't see where that's going to go yet. My hat, I can move that out of the way. It's a little bit of back and forth. It's not streamlined at all, but it does work. It does mean that you lose the vector nature of your illustrations, so they are now bitmaps, they are now rasterized, they're now blurry. So if you did this so you could keep nice clean vectors, and sorry to disappoint, it is not going to work like that. If you want to do nice clean vectors, you will have to make them inside of Toon Boom, unfortunately. But left arm, make sure that you're not moving the wrong ones. Thankfully all the right things are at the back, so I can tell. Eyebrow. That's terrifying, so I'm just going to pop that behind the pubes. Lapel. Nozzle. So you can tell all of these are put in alphabetical order. That is not helpful for us at all. So tufts. We go straight up to the top. You cheeky devil. Tuft. Okay, so this is head stuff. Hat goes behind the head. And the tuft goes onto eyebrows. That's what's missing. Left and right. Arrow removed his. He goes behind the head. So does the right ear. Careful not to drag them into each other, because then you're making a parent-child relationship, and we're not doing that yet. No children yet, please. This goes above the end. Okay, right leg at the back, great. And I want the tails to go at the very back. Spiffing. So torso. I reckon butt, below torso is just seem right. Butt, tails, butt, torso, right leg, right hand, right arm, chest, lapel, lapel, left leg can go just above the right leg, beard, head, yeah, good, eyes, pubes, brown, yeah, good, there we go, that's the whole thing. Once we've got that, we can delete this, or at least turn it off so don't mess it up. I can't just delete, you've got to right click and delete, but it's locked, so I can't right click and delete. There we go, now we've got our dude ready to be rigged. All his bits all broken up. Oh, and all little PNGs. So that's what you will need to do before next class if you are going to create your assets in Illustrator. I would recommend that you create them in Toon Boom. It'll be easier. But that is it.